Hi, you guys. I'm going live on Instagram and YouTube. Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. Today's episode is called Brave, Honest, Beautiful. I don't know if you guys heard the song. I had not. If you're a Fifth Harmony fan, this is a song that they did with Meghan Trainor. And it just fits the topic for today's episode, so I went with it. Thank you guys for joining. But I have to say, I almost didn't pick this one because Camila Cabello, or however you say her name, her voice was hella kind of annoying. I think when she was part of that group, it became more tolerable when she went solo. But in this song especially, I kind of cringe on her part. But it fits today's episode. I'm interviewing Sarah Yarborough. She is the reigning International Junior Ms. Tennessee. And she reached out to the podcast, and I'm so glad she did. It was a pleasure speaking with her and, hearing about her platform of domestic violence, especially in younger teenagers, like younger adolescents, which I thought was a pretty interesting based on the stats that she shared in our interview. And so, yeah, I thought she was brave to share her story, very honest, and she's gorgeous. And I'm wishing her a lot of luck in the upcoming pageant. It's just like pageant season right now. I don't know if you guys have noticed. So that's today's episode. I'll try to pay attention to both monitors here, but how is everybody? I have rosé today because I was too nervous last time, and I'm like, these are my people. I'm just going to calm the hell down. But we have so much to discuss for Cheer Chat, and we'll get started after I take a sip. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're in a place that's going back into lockdown like Seattle, Washington State's back under basically the same restrictions that we were when this whole thing started. So got my Costco order tonight and, just trying to take it with stride because what can we do? Thanksgiving's next week and I don't know what you guys are up to, but I'm hoping everybody stays safe and just stocks up on food and alcoholic beverages. I'm kidding, but not really. Well, let's get started because there's a lot to discuss. I want to thank everybody who participated in the poll because I think I'm going to do that every week. Just kind of talk to you guys, figure out what your pulse is, what you think about certain things as things come to my mind because, as you guys know, my brain just keeps on going. But when I posted about the Super Bowl halftime performance being the weekend, and you guys pretty much thought not who you'd have picked. Somebody wrote in, I feel like it was Natalie from Blazers that basically said the best idea ever, which is Miguel. I love Miguel. And he would have been such a better performing artist, a much better catalog that's uplifting. And I don't know. I'll share my 2 cents on the weekend. I like his music. I have to be in a mood for it, but I just feel like he's always just a little too mellow and just he's singing about a relationship that went left and how he can't trust women again. And so I don't think party Super Bowl halftime kind of thing at all. And had they even had Pitbull as a halftime show? No, he would have been great. They're still in Florida. I know it's not Miami. I think he performed with Super Bowl last year, but either way, they could have picked somebody else in my opinion. But that led me to thinking about Pro Bowl and realizing that they're not going to have a game, even though they will be voting for the football players to be selected for the Pro Bowl. It just made me think, well, what about the cheerleaders? Are teams still going to select cheerleaders to be, representing, oh God, I didn't drink that much rosé, representing their teams for Pro Bowl. And somebody made a comment, so I'm just going to try to read it. Hi, Danielle. We need Pitbull. Yes. Don't know why he wasn't a part of Miami's. I know. Great for J-Lo and Shakira, but he's Mr. 305. What were they thinking? So anyway, yeah, totally agree with that. And I'm going to try to monitor. And no matter what I wear, the comments never show up right so I can read them properly. I promise. I probably do need glasses, but it's not my fault that I can't read them all the time. So anyway, thanks for everybody who wrote in. Danielle gave a great suggestion of just getting some ideas from you guys about what they should do about Pro Bowl. We're creative. This is our community. I feel like we've, as a podcast, have definitely tried to celebrate Pro Bowl cheerleaders every year. I've traveled down to good old Orlando for Pro Bowl, just to be able to share with you guys what the experience is like and just celebrate the women that were selected. And, I feel like we still should do something, but it was really interesting to hear from people. There were, I won't call anybody out, this is all confidential, but I was surprised to see a lot of the Pro Bowlers, like former Pro Bowl cheerleaders, that mentioned that they didn't think that they should have it. And I'm sure it's probably just because they know how amazing the experience is and what they're missing out on from it not being the typical Pro Bowl experience. But a lot of people said that they thought we should still do it. And I personally, I think we'll just have to get creative. Like, we're in Rona land for at least another, I don't know, I don't even want to speculate, but it's not going away, right? This virtual space that we're having to live in is, I won't say here to stay, but we got to work with it, and we got to be creative and find ways of connecting and celebrating and doing things that we would somewhat normally do. I think if we just bypass it thinking, well, do it when you can have things be back to normal again, I think it's probably missing the mark a little bit, because I don't think things are going to be back to normal soon-ish. They are having the Super Bowl somehow in Tampa Bay. But some of the thoughts that were coming in from people were just that maybe at a later time, when it's safe to gather, that you can try to do something to celebrate the Pro Bowl cheerleaders where they're able to gather in person and have the experience that they would have had at the Pro Bowl game. So while they wouldn't, be able to cheer the Pro Bowl game, they can at least get together and celebrate and take the photo card and all those different things that they do. I mean, I'm probably not summing it up very well, but you get the gist. There's a lot that happens during that week. And if they're going to do the Super Bowl, I'm sure they're going to still do a lot of build up to the Super Bowl. And of course, they will probably incorporate Tampa Bay's cheerleaders, whether or not they are part of the Super Bowl. And each team that's competing, obviously they're cheerleaders, but I don't think anybody would mind if they kind of had the Pro Bowl cheerleaders snuck in there and did certain things to celebrate the Pro Bowl cheerleaders at the Super Bowl. That's a thought. Lots of good comments. I tried to share them out and just give some devil advocate kind of like thoughts in response to it. But what are you guys thinking? I think, we all know it's a huge honor, and it won't be exactly fair and it won't be great, but it's still, oh, you're so sweet. I love listening to you. Thank you for saying that, because I always get so nervous. I just think we should still celebrate, like the same way that teams have come together to have a season. It's all vets for the most part, it seems like, for some of these teams that have, gone through the auditions process. It's been a rough year, so they should do something to celebrate the team that they've assembled and gathered, getting through 2020. Pick a dang on Pro Bowl cheerleader. We'll figure out how to lift whoever that is up and celebrate them in a digital way. I mean, you could have, somebody mentioned a highlight reel of all the dancing and so you get a flavor. Because honestly, for me, that was my favorite part of Pro Bowl, was actually seeing the big pregame number that they did, where they called up each girl and she got to the 50-yard line and just went and strutted her stuff and did 1-8 count. So it's not really like a highlight reel, but I love that part. That was all I wanted to see. Let me see a little flavor from each girl. We might have men in the Pro Bowl, who knows? But I would love to see something like that. And you can put together your own little concept video highlight reel of the Pro Bowl cheerleader showing their stuff a little bit. That's a good part. And you can definitely Photoshop the heck out of the amazing photo card that Lindsay photographs. I mean, that makes my heart hurt just knowing that she won't be able to do that, because that's iconic, right? But, maybe there's a way to kind of create a really cool photo card that it shows all of the cheerleaders in there. And, we could just get creative. I promise I'll get as creative as I possibly can to promote whoever selected as Pro Bowl. I mean, obviously, I'm just speculating. I don't know if these teams are duh, we're going to pick one. But I was just curious what you guys thought. I love the dialogue. And you guys had a lot to say. So I shared the results. Kind of forgot what they were. But overwhelmingly, people did want to see Pro Bowl cheerleaders selected. So let's hope that tradition stays intact. Can you imagine? It's just granted, this is the year 2020 where everything went to crap, but you have the Pro Bowl cheerleader each year, and just imagine if this is a gap year and 2 cheerleaders selected for the following year. Like, we should just keep it pushing. We need to keep it pushing. Speaking of keep it and pushing, I'm going to pause for the cause while I take a sip. But what happened to the Charger girls, you guys? Who knows? Really, really, like, what happened to the Charger girls? When I was thinking about Pro Bowl, it made me realize they didn't really select the team. And if they do go forward with Pro Bowl, you'll have 25 Pro Bowl cheerleaders, but one missing from the Charger girls. Like, what's up with that? Y'all know you can give me the tea. Whether I share it back out with everybody is completely up to you if you want to stay anonymous or it's really top secret. I am a vault. This is like Fort Knox up in here, but I'm just curious what happened. I've heard some things, but I would love to hear from you guys, like what really happened to their season. It's a shame. It's really, really a shame. And speaking of another team that I'm kind of like, what the hell? As I was doing my NBA survey of like, what's going on with auditions, we'll get to that in a minute. But the Phoenix Suns dancers, their Instagram is like disabled. If anybody knows what could be possibly going on with that, please let me know. I was super excited about following the Suns during the NBA dance team playoffs. So I like them. I thought they were pretty good. And anyway, I was shocked when I didn't see an Instagram account for the team, and I hope it's just a glitch or some rebranding. I don't know, but if you know what's going on with that too, let me know. I'm just gonna make sure I didn't miss anything here, and sorry for my hand being all up in the computer screen. So far, so good. All right, next topic. NBA dance team auditions update. So you guys know I do my research. I looked at every single NBA team, their Instagram, their website, et cetera, to see what activity we have on that front, because the NBA season is starting December 22nd, which is like tomorrow. They're having the draft technically tomorrow. Oh, somebody said that they merged accounts with the Suns' main Instagram. Why would they do that? Where did they do that at? Interesting. They had a huge following. That's interesting. Thanks for sharing that. That might be what happened to the Suns dancers Instagram account. It's now merged with the overall team account. Well, they better post about their girls once they, have a squad and have a season. But back to that, the draft is tomorrow. And, typically there's like months of preparing, people who are selected in the draft are negotiating their contract. They're like going through all of these like training, conditioning, there's usually so much that leads up to the start of the NBA season, and it is going to be major league condensed. And so that also means, the NBA dance teams are probably, if you haven't gotten your auditions underway yet, then there's only 2 or technically 3 now that have, you're going to be under a tight crunch too. So, as I was looking and just thinking about what the NBA season is going to even be like, here we go again with like NFL stuff. Sorry, I'm all in my hair. Like I washed it. So it's like moving a little bit more. But they do have a shortened season. It's 72 games. And they hope to have fans at stadiums, but at some point during the year. But it's like for right now, they probably aren't going to have fans when they start on the 22nd. So that makes it a little sticky for the NBA dance teams, I'm sure, to try to plan around of whether they're going to have a team if there's no fans, and maybe they're going to do what the NFL did and not have any performers on the court. So then where in the arena are these dancers going to perform? So all these same questions all over again that we just went through with NFL, but it looks like it may very well be something similar for NBA. If you have more tier than that, let me know. But from what I saw, we have the Atlanta Hawks dancers. I think they were first to go through auditions in September. And then the Honeybees had their auditions last month in October. And then just yesterday, it looks like the Detroit Pistons dancers kicked off their auditions process. So I don't know, it looked like a Zoom link on the application form. I'm not sure how many rounds or how they're going about it. Like I know the Honeybees had like an in-person camp. Some of it was virtual. NBA auditions are a lot different. I mean, I think they require a lot more like, let me feel you out. You got boot camps, you got all kinds of things that are happening. So we'll have to see. But everybody else's page was pretty quiet about an announcement about auditions. Some of them said coming up soon, in terms of posting more information. the one thing that was really sad, and it was very wonderfully done, not wonderfully done, but tactfully done, was the Laker girls. They posted, just a very well-reasoned, empathetic post about not holding auditions for the NBA season. It kind of left it open about whether, they might be taking vets. It wasn't clear. They just said that they weren't going to hold auditions and that they really enjoy people coming out every year to try to be part of the squad, and just out of respect for what's going on and just wanting to care for everybody's safety, blah, 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 that they were not going to hold auditions. So let's hope that's not the trend that we see. Let's hope that's not the trend that we see. But I'll be providing updates as soon as I find out about things. You guys know I'm one person. So if there's something on social media, you guys are great about sending it to me, but definitely keep me in the know so I can share it out with everybody else. In the meantime, hopefully people are continuing to take classes. There's so many options. I try to share out, what I see in terms of prep work, but you guys, keep dancing, keep your body right, stay in the mindset if that's your goal to make an NBA team. Just stay plugged and be ready, because I'm sure it's going to happen hella fast. So that's the update on that. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? There were a couple others. So I'm trying to make sure that everybody knows that the podcast is also about other sports as well. It's not just NBA, not just NFL. But I saw that the San Antonio Spurs hype squad, which I don't know a lot about, they don't have a lot of a big presence online. But they had auditions and I guess picked their team. So hopefully they'll pump up their social media presence, and because I know that they got rid of the Silver Dancers not a long time ago, but a few years ago now, and it seems like it's a little mix of like the dunking and the break dancing and the dancing entertainment hoopla kind of squads. But I also saw that the Allen Americans Ice Angels just selected their team. They had it in person. They had a video montage that showed some people in masks. They were kind of spread out, but kind of not too at the same time. But yeah, they had portions of it where they were wearing their masks, some without it. But they got through their auditions. They had a judging panel and the whole 9 yards. And then who else? I feel like there was one other team that I thought I wrote down. But the point is, I'm trying to report out on other opportunities as well, because you guys know it's also semi-pro teams and just other opportunities to dance out there. So if you guys are listening, you can tag me in anything that you post as well, so I can share it out. DCC virtual auditions captured in the Making the Team. I know I go back and forth on whether I watch the show or not, but it starts November 24th, next Tuesday, matter of fact. And for some reason, I kind of want to watch this time. Kind of. Oh, somebody said Vegas Golden Knights just made their team for hockey. Thank you, Danielle. Girl, you might need to be a little co-host here, giving me all these jewels. Thank you. So yeah, hockey must be going full swing, because like the Allen Americans did theirs. So I'll be paying more attention, doing more research, and reporting on other teams that are forming and sharing out congratulations and just kind of seeing how they're handling their seasons too, because all of it is going to be instructive as to what they're going to be doing with sporting events. So thank you, Danielle. So anyway, DCC's Making the Team. I'm probably going to watch. There's a couple girls from Washington State that I even saw. They're like featuring each girl doing their solo or whatever they submitted for the virtual auditions. And they even have Kat smack dab in the middle of their promo shot. So I'm just curious, after this summer with everything that was going on and the feedback that sounds like went to Judy and homegirl, I can't think of her name. Why don't I know that woman's name right now? I'm not a big Making the Team person, but I just feel like there's been a lot of feedback just based on everything that's been going on. And I'm curious to see if any of that makes it into the show. I'm curious to see how they handled the coronavirus in their bubble. So I might just watch. I might watch. Are you guys? Yeah, I might watch, might talk about it. We've never really done that on the show. I don't know why, but I think we're probably going to discuss. Judy and Kelly. I knew it was another E. Girl, Danielle, you just need to call me on here and back me up the rest of this cheer chat. But anyway, I think that for the most part is like the update and for Cheer Chat. And like I said, the poll of the week will definitely be continuing on. There are just some different topics and issues that I've always been curious what you guys thought about. So I will definitely be putting those questions to you. Thanks for participating in advance. You guys can always, write in longer responses if it's like a question, etc. Issues that you guys want me to cover as well. I'm happy to hear from you. But, this episode, like I said, is really, was different for me because I'm not, very knowledgeable about pageantry and all the different organizations that you have. But again, just very moved by this young lady. And, when I think about quarantine and just like article headlines that I would see from time to time, that the numbers of domestic violence incidents and unfortunately deaths are on the rise because people are, kind of more or less trapped in their homes with, abusive partners or husbands, whatever. I mean, it goes both ways, but it was something that kind of stuck with me. And when she reached out and learning about her platform, it just really made me think that, this happens to young people, like kids that are in high school. And I know that one of the articles that I was reading was just that it's not, there's not as many touch points for people who might be suffering from that because they're not going into the office at work where they might have, talk to someone or share what's going on with them at school and things like that. And so I think it's just a very important topic. I thought she was very brave to just kind of talk about some of the signs that led up to, her realizing that she needed to step away from that relationship. And I just think that it's just something to think about, right? I mean, try to stay in touch with your friends or people who might seem like they are, struggling, because we're kind of all hanging in there, but we don't necessarily know what somebody might be going through within the four walls of their home. And again, our whole conversation was not about this heavy topic, but I just really appreciate her reaching out and sharing her story with the podcast. And I'm excited to share it with you. At this point, I will open it up to people who want to call in, so to speak, or write while I'm looking so that I can catch any comments. Let's see. And before it gets hella awkward, I will, let y'all have the rest of y'all's evening, but that's Cheer Chat for today. Going once, going twice. I'll drink while you guys let me know if there's anything else on your mind. Oh, it's so awkward. I hate it. It's so cringy. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me for Cheer Chat, and thank you, YouTube, as well. I'll get this episode going tomorrow, and next week you guys are going to hear from Kayla. That's going to be a good one. We talked for so long that I forgot to stop recording. So the editing on that one's going to be, because there were so many good things that came out. For you, those of you who don't know, Kayla Marie Jackson, make sure I'm saying her last name right, because don't get me all messed up. But former Atlanta Hawks dancer, she's got an amazing career as a commercial dancer, and she was just dropping all sorts of jewels on basically how she made that transition. And so, man, that one's a good one. So that might be part one and part two, because I don't want to edit out all the great things that we were talking about, but it's just such a good ass. I said ass. I haven't cursed all freaking season yet. I was on my best behavior last week for Sabrina's interview, but a very, very good episode coming your way next week as well. But for now, I will sign off and let you guys have your evening, but look out for the poll next week and let me know if anything's on your mind in the meantime. Bye, you guys. And you're so welcome. Bye.